in a previous video, I discussed the fact that low thyroid can be one of the factors leading you to your fat storage and really struggling with that fat loss process. So I feel that low thyroid is something that is very much undervalued and it's not focused on. We always want to go to the calories, the macros, the exercise, and then we might jump to estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. But then there's this little piece of the puzzle, the thyroid, that could be one of the biggest limiting factors for you. So definitely focusing on that. In order to know if you have low thyroid, you can go off of the symptoms that I'll give you here in a moment, or you can get tested, which would give you the most beneficial information. But again, taking that step is an investment. I do believe your practitioner could test you for thyroid, and it's not going to cost an arm and a leg as it would if you get the full hormonal workup. That will include the other sex hormones. So just a little food for thought there. But if you're struggling with weight gain, if you have dry, itchy skin, if you are always cold, if you have hair loss, constipation, depression, mood changes, decreased heart rate, impaired memory, all of these items could mean that you do have low thyroid. And also the corresponding thing with high cholesterol. Sometimes if you're tested for your cholesterol and you have high cholesterol, it might be due to having low thyroid. So a lot of women, their main thing is, I'm cold all the time, and this can actually happen through doing fasting for far too long. And so if you do feel that out of nowhere now you're cold all the time when it's not really that cold out, then consider testing your thyroid. So certain foods will boost that. Foods containing selenium, zinc, vitamin D, iodine. So you can always supplement with these things, but the foods that you can incorporate, I myself, the easiest thing you can do is have 2 Brazil nuts every single day. You can just pop them in your mouth. You can throw them in something. You can make it into a powder and throw it into something. But the eggs, I would suggest you not focusing on dairy, but dairy has what you need in that. Seaweed and fish. So that will help with thyroid function. Managing stress. Okay, so again, when it comes to thyroid, we want to get enough exercise, some high intensity sprinkled in there, but we don't want high intensity to rule our everyday routines. Okay, so doing maybe 5 minutes at most of high intensity training at the end of your routine is going to be more than enough, especially if you already have low thyroid. So definitely incorporating, good meditation practices, walking, if you are into meditation, if you're into yoga, all of that's going to benefit you. Also, very important to know that you want to avoid certain foods that will interfere with thyroid function, that will block iodine absorption. Okay, so these foods are like kale, broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, which is very interesting because when I tested my thyroid, my T3 was slightly low, and those are all foods that I eat on a daily basis. So what do you know? So definitely replacing those foods with others and getting good quality sleep, limiting your sugar intake. All of that's going to be really, really, really beneficial. In terms of supplements, again, selenium, zinc, vitamin D, that's always the big one, and omega-3 fatty acids. So I have an amazing company that I do suggest for vitamin D, magnesium, omegas, that you will have the link to. And in terms of herbal supplements, ashwagandha, I think every single person, every female should be incorporating ashwagandha, whether it's through a gummy, it's through tea, it's through a powder or a pill. That is always going to help. And also there are a few others that I can't even pronounce, but I would definitely suggest ashwagandha for the main thing. And hydration is always key with everything. So hopefully this is helpful, and do not be afraid of asking your physician for testing your thyroid. And you might as well just throw 2 Brazil nuts into your routine every single day. See you in the next video.